We don't have a written constitution in this country, so this clause in particular, clause 39, that feels like our kind of human rights is something that we have to learn, protect and sustain through every generation.
This is one of the 4 surviving original copies of Magna Carta that were issued at Runnymede in June 1215. And the original Magna Carta had 63 clauses, and you can see, looking at it, that right in the middle, not given any prominence, is the one that says no free man should be seized or imprisoned or stripped of his rights or outlawed or exiled except by the judgment of his equals or by the law of the land. And that clause, which is still on the statute book today, is this very powerful statement about the importance of the rule of law.
Even with the road running along the river and Heathrow being nearby, perhaps that almost accentuates quite how particular this landscape is. And in a sense, being on a floodplain, there's a weird kind of vulnerability that makes it seem a bit precious.
The work's called Writ in Water, which alludes to John Keats' gravestone in Rome. He was so despairing of his legacy that he instructed those words to be written on his gravestone.
And the idea is to sort of just almost take that out into the hillside. There's a natural, almost a slight bank on both sides, so you kind of so it softens it slightly.
Sure.
I'm working with the architect studio Octopi. We've chosen to work with materials and aggregate from the surrounding area, so it hopefully feels like it belongs very much in its place.
Oh, I've made a wash now. Yeah, I mean, that feels pretty good, doesn't it? It feels natural, you know? You know, that definitely looks dyed, like some decisions have been made. This looks like, well, that's just the way it came out.
It's a scientific test.
It is, isn't it? We're going to be okay.
If there was anywhere to celebrate history, as the National Trust wants to, it's here at Runnymede. Sometimes change can be difficult, so you have to manage change quite carefully, especially in precious landscapes like this one. But actually, it's really important that we're reinventing and developing all the time. Mark is well known for having a voice, for having things to say, for being political, and this is a political landscape. This is, you know, arguably this is the place where politics in a modern sense was born, so what better artist to have intervene in this sort of landscape?
It's a round building. It's kind of conceived as the most basic mazes in a sense. It's circular and it's got an outer and inner wall. The entranceway faces due north, and then you can choose to go left or right, and then you get fed round, and then there's another entrance into an inner space in which is a round reflecting pool. The inspiration for the building was various buildings going back to ancient Neolithic buildings, but also buildings that are protective of something precious. So the central idea is that around this round pool will be clause 39, but it will be inscribed upside down and back to front, so you read it in the water. And all the measurements are in cubits. I quite like the idea of using an ancient measure, and a cubit is that distance from one's elbow to one's fingers. But I thought it'd be quite nice to have something that had some very physical relation to oneself.
It's really quite surprising how dark and black the shadows are in that as regards that.
When we were looking at a reflection, in a sense that really does throw us back on just our own perceptions and our own subjectivity. To be able to read it is to be very much thrown back on one's own physicality. Beyond most of my other projects or things that I've proposed for the public realm, it's the biggest leap between the concept and the actuality, I suppose. I'm extremely happy with its scale and all the rest of it, but of course that's a very felt thing that you cannot really know until you're inside it.
Wow. Yeah. That's very nice, isn't it? It's got a nice kind of floaty feel. It all feels kind of weightless. It's really, really nice, yeah. I'm really pleased how large this feeling as a space, you know? And it does feel, psychologically, the size you think it would be from the outside, even though it's an inner ring.
It is a place where I could genuinely have a break from the external world. It's a chance to kind of think about things more deeply, and perhaps especially the message of Magna Carta, which is contained within.
It's offering something that isn't finalised. It's almost like a question in itself that asks as much of how you think about the world and the history than it's telling you. It's offering that space to amplify your views or reconsider them in response to how you feel in this moment in time.
The real joy, I think, is going to be to see other people's reactions to it. And it's only when you actually see other people experiencing them, you can kind of then really sort of start to see what actually has been created.
To actually be inside something that for 5 years or so has just been this abstract series of drawings, and suddenly to be within. Yeah, it was an amazing feeling.